The objective for this video is to learn how to use the standard normal distribution to find a probability associated with a normally distributed random variable. According to Census.gov, the average square footage of a house in the United States in the year 2015 was 2,687 square feet. Assume that the square footage of U.S. homes is a normally distributed variable with a standard deviation of 626 square feet. If a house in the U.S. is selected at random, what is the probability that the square footage is less than 3,651? In probability notation, this would be expressed as the probability that the random variable x is less than 3,651. In order to calculate this probability, we will first need to calculate the z-score associated with this value of the random variable. So we will find the difference between the value of the random variable 3,651 and the mean 2,687, and then divide that by the standard deviation 626. This gives us a z-score of positive 1.54. So finding the probability that the random variable x would take on a value less than 3,651 is the same as finding the probability that z would be less than 1.54 in the standard normal distribution. The z-score 1.54 would be a little more than halfway between z equal to 1 and z equal to 2. We are to find the probability that z would be less than 1.54, which corresponds to the area under the curve to the left of z equals 1.54. Looking at the left column of the cumulative normal distribution table, we travel down until we find a z-score of 1.5, and then travel to the right until we find where that row crosses up with the column that is headed 0.04. Here we find a value of 0.9382. We see at the bottom of this table the picture of the normal distribution. The 4 decimal place values in the body of the table correspond to the shaded region in the picture of the normal distribution. The shaded area under the curve corresponds to the probability that z would be less than 1.54. So the probability that the square footage of a randomly selected home in the United States would be less than 3,651 is equal to 0.9382. This can be stated in another way. Assuming that the square footage of U.S. homes is a normally distributed variable with a mean of 2,687 square feet with a standard deviation of 626 square feet. 93.82% of the homes in the United States would be smaller than 3,651 square feet. In this video, we learned how to use the standard normal distribution to find a probability associated with a normally distributed random variable.